What is going on, everyone, and welcome to WreckTalk. Today, we got a game to break down, and I'll make you a promise. I'm not even going to bitch about doing my job. More than I can say for some. But look, this is a grudge match in a way for Georgia Tech. We opened with Louisville last year in the Benz. Got a big lead in the first half. I think we scored 21 points in the second quarter. Key talked about it in his presser. We only scored in the second and fourth quarters. It was the opposite of consistency. Though one of the best games throwing the ball we had seen from Haynes King, and it was his first game starting for Georgia Tech. And then we let Louisville come back. Now, we went back and forth, Sea-Dog and I, with Louisville fans leading up to that game. And like most fan bases, once the game's over, people kind of stick around. We can have a good time. But if you're a Georgia Tech fan, you'd really like to go sting them in Louisville. Probably make you feel better about last year. Now, Georgia Tech is 3-1. So they'll be playing their fifth game. Louisville is 2-0. Now, they beat both their opponents a lot to a little, but they've played the Austin Peay Governors and Jacksonville State. Not to be confused with Jackson State, that's in Mississippi, where Dion ran from. Jacksonville State is in Alabama. Let me make sure. Has Tech played that many games? I'm pretty sure they have. More prepared YouTuber would know that by now. But yeah, we're 3-1, so this will be our fifth game. So I've seen in the ACC power rankings videos some Cardinals commenting on the videos, and I've seen some people saying their quarterback, who I can't pronounce his name, is it Shaw, Tyler. We're going to call him Tyler S. Oh, he's better than Jake Plummer. We're going to break down some film. I 100% disagree with that. I didn't watch a lot of your quarterback from last year, but I do think your quarterback this year has some problems that just haven't shown because you haven't played, any quality opponents yet. Georgia Tech has had their weaknesses exposed. I went to Syracuse, got on a plane, went up there, didn't bitch about it. And got embarrassed, right? Now, I do think that Kyle McCord and Syracuse have one of the better offenses in the conference. I'm very impressed. Breaking down film on them, I was very impressed. And looking at Louisville's offense, they haven't been tested in these ways. So Louisville's not aware of what their weaknesses are. Georgia Tech is aware of their weaknesses, and they can work on them. So the weaknesses for Georgia Tech have been pass rush and their secondary, right? Kyle McCord exposed that. On offense, when we're facing a three-man front, we struggle running the ball. 1,000% expect Louisville to run a three-man front against Georgia Tech. I haven't seen them do it I didn't see them do it against Jacksonville State. They would run like a straight 4-3 and then a lot of nickel. Expect them to disrupt Tech running a three-man front. Even Georgia Tech against VMI last week struggled to run the ball when they really shouldn't have at times. VMI running a three-man front. So the key for Georgia Tech really in this game is they've got to establish some sort of run here. Because Louisville showed that they can be ran on even against Jacksonville State last week. Now, the weaknesses that I see for Louisville seem to be the same defensive weaknesses that Tech has. They do have 6 sacks, 9 tackles for loss or something, which whatever you can take from the two opponents they've played for that or make of it. They can be thrown on and they can be ran on at times, though. So it's going to be a very good test for both teams. Louisville will come in ranked 19th. And we're going to kind of see how these teams size up. Now, Louisville's a 10.5-point favorite. I personally think that's a big number. And I think if you're a Louisville fan, would you be comfortable, say, putting $100 on Louisville to cover 10.5 points? I wouldn't be. And that's not just because first of all, I never bet. I certainly wouldn't bet on my own team. But, Key's an absolute menace on the road, right? Key has done very well in road ACC games when he's a 2-touchdown underdog or more. Done pretty well. Now, I've seen Louisville fans commenting like, hey, we blow everyone out at home. We have this massive home field advantage. Maybe you do. So you got a team that plays really well at home, playing a team that plays really well generally on the road. So it should be interesting to see. And I see why Louisville fans are really happy. Because if you look just purely at the stats, you're like, oh man, Louisville's some world beaters. So I'm looking at Tyler S. here, 581 yards, 6 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, though he should have at least 1 interception. I don't have it in film. Right before half against Jacksonville State last week, made a really bad decision, threw a ball that should have been picked, ended up being incomplete after review. And just looking at game stats last week, Tyler throws for 377 yards, 2 touchdowns, 23 of 35. Though when you look at this quarterback, his timing can be suspect. Sometimes his accuracy isn't there. I think his decision-making can be suspect at times too, but we'll look at that in film. Jacksonville State throws for 160 yards. Their quarterback, 17 of 20. 7 throws an interception and a touchdown. But here's the key. If there's a absolute key to this game, here it is. Tyler Huff for Jacksonville State had 18 carries and 101 yards, and he was their quarterback. Jacksonville State quarterback had a day running the ball against Louisville, and they had a ton of trouble stopping him. If you let Haynes King run on you, he's going to run for $150 and 3 touchdowns. That's preferable. If we don't have to throw the ball downfield, which we seem to be a little hesitant to do, we did it last week, and Haynes King can just run upfield on you, he's no Tyler Huff. He's a 10-5 guy that can hurt you with his legs, and he's hurt a lot of different teams with his legs. So I think that'll be the key. If you're Louisville, you cannot let Haynes King run all over you. You can't really let Tech run all over you. The key, if you're Louisville, would be we need to make Georgia Tech throw the ball downfield, and your secondary needs to step up and bat some balls down. Obviously, if you're Georgia Tech defensively, you need to get a pass rush. I think Georgia Tech has maybe 3 sacks all year or something. They've struggled to get to the quarterback, though I'm not super impressed with Louisville's quarterback. I do think he has the ability to hurt you if given time, and Georgia Tech's secondary has been suspect. I can't pick Georgia Tech to win this game with everything I've seen up to this point. It's just Louisville's too big of an unknown. I'm not even comfortable giving, like a final score prediction, though I do feel good for Georgia Tech in this game. Georgia Tech, again, tends to play better on the road, and they tend to bounce back well after a loss like that. The only thing I am comfortable in saying is I do not think that Louisville covers 10.5 points. I just don't. I think this is going to be a close game, and it's probably decided by a field goal or so. Maybe similar to last year. Last year's game was decided by a field goal, right? All right, let's look at. Let us look at. In fact, let me make myself smaller. Little film here. So I've got offensive and defensive plays for Louisville, and then I got a handful of Georgia Tech. What Georgia Tech's going to do against you if you're a Louisville fan. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, this is kind of Will Concept-esque, and this is, I think Zach Jones in one of our member streams said, "Hey, I'm not sold that Louisville secondary is very good." This is almost kind of a blown coverage. They kind of get lost here. They end up putting a guy in motion. So this guy's going to kind of come up here and just sit and run a curl. And then this guy's going to get up the sideline. And it's kind of just a blown coverage because they lose him. So the corner goes inside with the outside wide receiver, and there's really just no one around here. The safety has to come over the top and help clean it up. But yeah, not great coverage there by Louisville. Now, of course, I'm picking and choosing things. I did watch the entire first half. I realized Louisville played a lot better in the second half. So just to be fair with that. Now here, why is it not playing? All right, I guess we're not looking at that play. All right, a little play action here. And this is just simple. I think this guy's just going to run a little quick out off the play action. Louisville gets caught cheating too far inside, biting on the play action. This is an easy pitch and catch here on the out for Jacksonville State. This is a 1st and 10. Come close to picking up the first down there. These defenses, when I say like Georgia Tech's defense and Louisville's defense, kind of have the same issues. They really do. Like they at times like to play soft zone, and they struggle to do so. Here's a good play by Louisville on offense. Now, Louisville runs a ton of different sets out. They'll run a straight power I. They'll run an offset I. They'll run RPO. They'll run just a lot of spread type stuff. So they'll run a lot. Here is good play action here off the jet motion. Now, we've talked about what's important about jet motion. It really flags whether the defense is in man or not. If you have someone coming across running with this guy in jet motion, kind of know you're in man. If not, you know you're in zone. Looks like they do blitz, but here, okay, this is what this is kind of some nuanced stuff with your quarterback I'm talking about. I want you to look at, so this guy's sitting in a curl. This guy's really running a flat. This cornerback here, kind of has both of these guys. But his body, his chest is facing the quarterback. So I'm going to ask you, if you're the quarterback here, who would you rather throw the ball to? Who is it going to be harder for that cornerback to make a play on? Because if it's me, I'm throwing to this guy. All right, because if I throw to this guy's got to turn his whole body around and redirect his momentum to get to him. It's kind of nitpicky. He ends up throwing the curl. I would have rather thrown the flat there. But they do pick up the first down on 3rd and 2. So I guess with the situation on 3rd and 2, yeah, if he's open, throw it there. Anyways. Jacksonville State here on offense. I guess I should just go stop switching between offense and defense. But they get off a good run here. Get some push on Louisville's defensive front. And this running back's not touched till he gets about 10 yards downfield. So this is what we should do. Let's look at just look at Louisville defense going forward. Just look at the Louisville defense. See what we got here. So here's this soft zone for them. This guy's just gonna run, kind of an in. Don't do a great job covering it for Louisville. Gets inside here. Pretty good route. And not able to get a hand on him until he gets the first down. So, I mean, Haynes King has proven if he has time, I mean, he can find an open man. He can find an open man. All right, I said we were going to look at Louisville defense, right? Said we're going to look at Louisville defense. I picked this play because this is something that Georgia Tech likes to do. We don't run it like this. The key here, you got a 2-on-1 block. You need to get the ball to this wide receiver as quick as possible. He's way, way, way too late. Lineman doesn't have enough time to come over and pick up the block. But this is going to be key for Louisville's defense this week, is getting downhill. Georgia Tech loves to throw the ball behind the line of scrimmage. They love to throw to like Haynes King, the running back, on a bubble while he's running, where he already is almost at full speed. So Louisville's going to have to do a really good job with like linebackers and corners or nickels beating perimeter blocks with Georgia Tech's wide receivers in this game. That you're going to see a lot of it. Okay, now here's what I'm talking about with this quarterback. This is not a drawn up draw. Quarterback just sees he's got green in front of him, takes off running, and this is a 3rd and 9 play. 1 missed tackle, 2 missed tackles off the cut, 3 missed tackles off the D-line, boom, 4 missed tackles, and then finally the 5th guy gets him down. Again, Louisville fans might think I'm picking on them. I'm just saying, if this guy does that to you, Haynes King will eat you alive if you let him get an open field like this. All right. Good touchdown here. Another blown coverage, really, by Louisville. Kind of running like a little switch here. This wide receiver is here just going to kind of sit like a hitch. And then the inside wide receiver, is going to get a field. I don't know what draws this safety in and this linebacker in so far. The quarterback does do a good job at looking off these two Louisville defenders at the bottom of the screen. I guess they both see this little hitch here, and they both stick their feet in the ground and get upfield. This is just total blown coverage. They basically commit 3 people to this inside route, or this outside route, this little hitch on the outside. All 3 Louisville defenders bite on that. And this is just easy pitch and catch. Blown coverage for Louisville here. Now, schematically for Georgia Tech, because they do like to throw a lot of perimeter screens and things behind the line of scrimmage, I would look for Georgia Tech to pump that and throw a go off of it, with Louisville maybe biting too heavy off of it. It's another quarterback run here. Kind of fakes the pitch. This is something Georgia Tech likes to do. Sticks his foot in the ground, sees green in front of him, and I want you to look at him finish this run here for Jacksonville State. Again, he's not even touched till he's like 20 yards downfield, and he just runs this DB over. What are you doing, buddy? Yeet. Let's see it again. Yeet. So if you're a Louisville fan, let me know. Am I being too nitpicky? I think this is a problem for you. I think this is a problem on your defense. This it looks like if a team has a mobile quarterback, you got trouble reining him in. He should not be doing any of your defenders dirty like that, though. All right, let's go back and look at Louisville offensively. So I said they'll run a lot of multiple sets. They'll run RPOs. I don't have any of them in here. It's just simple run up the middle. Get a down block off the tight end here. And Louisville sells out on the inside here. There's no need for this cornerback to be coming this far inside. A little bit of discipline issue there. Look, here's what I will say. I'm far more impressed with Louisville's running game than I am their passing game. He breaks it outside. Louisville, Key was right. Louisville's got 4 guys that can go. It's a foot race to the end zone. Touchdown for Louisville there. I don't know about Louisville's offensive line yet because I got to see them play a better defensive front. All right, get to see a little screen here. So you can see all the offensive line release. And here's a good rule of thumb for any aspiring defensive lineman. The minute you become the greatest pass rusher in the world, it's a screen. I can guarantee you that. It's a good play here. They do a good job getting downfield. Do miss a block here for Louisville. Tough part with screens is, it's tough for a big, fat offensive lineman to hit a block on a smaller, more athletic linebacker. But good pickup on first down. I think they might even pick up a first down here for Louisville. So you got to be disciplined there. Again, the minute you become the best pass rusher the world has ever known, probably a screen coming. Louisville does have athletic wide receivers. Here's what I will say about Louisville. They do have good speed, for sure. One here might be the most athletic person on their team. This is a play Georgia Tech likes to run too. So if you're a Louisville fan, this is textbook. We'll be doing this same type play, but with Eric Singleton Jr. I don't know what he runs. Singleton Jr. runs a 10-2. He's a track star. It wouldn't surprise me if one is the same way. So you get the ball out quick. And the cool thing for the quarterback here is this counts as a pass. So this counts in his passing yardage, even though he only moved the ball a foot in front of his face. Now, as far as Georgia Tech defensively, I think we struggle to get to the perimeter at times. We could struggle defending this. We're going to have to really set the edge. I mean, the key to this play is your linebacker, like here, your linebacker and your cornerbacks, you really got to do a good job setting the edge here. You want to get upfield and turn this ball inside. Letting this get outside of you is a loss for the defense. All right. Now you saw us break down the Syracuse game, right? So this is going to be an out here. I want you to look at the difference in the timing between Kyle McCord and his wide receiver and what the routes look like for the wide receiver Syracuse had. And I want you to look at this. Again, I'm not saying that any of these players are bad or the quarterback's bad. But he's just going to run a simple out, take a little 3-step drop. Oh, it's not an out. I'm sorry. He's running a curl. And it's a short curl, too. I guess the route's okay. Here's the thing. As the quarterback, you see the corner, take a step back. You got all this separation. It's like a 4-yard curl. He needs to be winding up now to throw this ball. Boom, he's in his break. The ball should be out or very close to being out right now. Ball's held on too long. So the guy, first of all, this is a crap route. This is a crap route. He needs to stick 1 foot in the ground and turn back to the ball. Instead, he shuffles his feet a little bit. Not a very good route. And this ball's still not out. Still not out. Still not out. A better defense that's more athletic steps in front of this ball. So let's just look at it again. First, not impressed with the route. Not a clean route. Not crisp. And this ball is held on for way, way, way too long. Ends up working out for him. Pick up about half the down to gain. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Again, there was another one where he should have thrown a pick right before half. So again, I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback. The things with him are, I think he holds onto the ball too long. I don't think he makes the best decision at times. I think his accuracy lacks. And I think that the wide receivers for Louisville could serve to run better routes. Now, they might put up, 50 points on Georgia Tech. You might beat the absolute brakes off us. I'm just telling you what I see in film. There's definitely some things that you could improve on. And it could be exposed in this game. Maybe not. That might end up being a problem for you in this game against Tech. All right. So you saw, this cat run for 100 yards on you. This is against Florida State. Now, no one should really care about this Florida State game anymore. This is not a good win or not a great win for Georgia Tech, as Florida State has proved to be awful. Thing I will say is we got the best version of this year's Florida State that probably anyone's going to get. It's just going to be a straight quarterback draw here. Pull guard, pull tight end. Good job sealing. And we just get Haynes King to the open side of the field. This is going to have to be Tech's game plan coming in, right? I would think you're going to see a lot of draws and a lot of getting Haynes King into space. You're also going to see a lot of read option. You're going to see RPO as well. I said we like to throw stuff quick, right? So we motion Malik here to the bottom of the screen. Look how quick the ball gets out. I mean, 11 really isn't touched hardly. We let him go. And then we get our, this is really a screen, right? So as quick as we can get it to Malik, let the first wave of defenders go, pick up the guys downfield. And Malik is sneaky quick. His acceleration 0 to 60 is pretty good. So that's something I'd watch out for Louisville on defense. You're going to have to really get downhill on that. Other thing, Haynes King has shown some really good downfield passing. Singleton Jr. here, who is, without a doubt our fastest wide receiver, I think is going to run a post. We end up hitting it, about the time he crosses the logo here. But they're manned up with him. I don't think it's man, but he's running man for man with him. I mean, look at this ball on a dime. 55 yards downfield? Now, I do think, there's talent in Louisville's front. I do think Tech's going to have to throw the ball downfield, and it's going to be a question of can Louisville's secondary, you can't blow coverage, first of all, but can they match up with Georgia Tech's wide receivers? Georgia Tech has a pretty good stable of wide receivers, so I guess we'll end it with that. Like I said, kind of a grudge match for Tech fans. We got a ton of egg on our face last year getting beat at the Benz. I can't stand playing at the Benz. But some of you have hung around, your go-card stuff. Appreciate it. Let me know in the comments what you think about this game. How do you feel about it? Do you think Louisville covers? Do you think Louisville's a little overrated? I personally do, but we'll find out for sure this Saturday. You guys have a good one.